The next program will follow in just over a minute. I'm sorry, in just under a minute. This program is an experiment in color radio. And this experiment is for listeners only on VHF, not for paupers. First, you should sit yourselves comfortably, but alertly, although the right way up, in a chair or similar sitting conveyance, such as a chair or a sedan kettle. You should preferably be within earshot of your radio. If your radio is at this time not switched on, now is the time to switch it on. You should, of course, also have a special color aerial, but failing that, an ordinary kitchen fork clasped between the toes will do. If you use a kitchen fork, and please only a kitchen fork, not a lounge fork, for example, to name but one inappropriate fork, you should insulate yourselves by wrapping yourself in newspaper. If you have no newspaper, a mohair serviette will do just as well. Finally, draw the curtains in the bathroom. One final point, listeners should be warned that the program may cause offence to people of an offensive nature. The colour radio experiment now follows. We are sorry many of you will only be able to receive the sound in black and white. Do not worry, do not adjust your set. Your radio may need repainting.
Yes, with a blaze of glory, the daffodil-coloured Angus prune tune brings to the silver microphone the dazzling talents of peacock blue Tim Brooke-Taylor, dusky John Cleese, brown-headed David Hatch, rose-tinted Joe Kendall, and chocolate-covered Bill Oddie. And here is the golden voice of the nation's heartthrob, John Otto Cleese.
I'm sorry, I'll read that again.
This is the BBC's third programme.
And the first two were bad enough.
Music for Schools. This is the programme that gives children a chance to make themselves familiar with the language of musicians.
You're bloody...
And now meet the orchestra.
Hello, orchestra.
Hello, children. Last week we...
First, do you remember this tune?
The moon is a beaming. Beam, 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 beam. It's good.
You do? Then you're far too old to be listening to this rubbish.
Last week, you'll remember, Uncle John told you what to do with your instruments. And this week, I'll tell you how to play them. Now, when I go...
First...
Oh, I give up.
Good. First, as a special treat, we have with us the famous composer and conductor, Herr Lacker, who is, of course, also the leader and father of several of the Herr Lacker family singers, as played by Julie Andrews in the musical film The Sound of Poppins and the Seven Dwarfs. Let's join him as he's putting the finishing touches to his latest work, the Rhubarb Cantata. See how much effort and labour goes into every single note. Now listen as he tests out the musical abilities of his children.
Right, let's get in tune. Good, now.
Daddy!
What is it, Fritz?
I just swallowed your copy of Handel's Messiah.
Ha! I knew you had music in you. Here, Otto, put this light bulb in your mouth whilst I plug your fingers into the electric socket. Now switch on. Has it lit up?
No?
It's no good. You'll never be a conductor. I'll be still in tune. Good. Let's see what you've picked up since last week. Oh, yes, very nice. Tell her to wait outside. Right? Good. Right, now you all remember what a clef is?
Yes.
Well, see if you know what this is. Listen. It's a cliffhanger ending. Still in tune? Josephine, you're flat. You're not in tune either. Again?
And now it is time to meet the orchestra. When a lot of people get together to make music, there are two things that keep them going.
Beer and money.
Of course, quite a few people work in a band like this, and quite a few don't. So first, let's just run over some of the musicians. Now, here's Brian. He's on bass. Here's Donald. He's on drums. Here's Derek. He's on clarinet, and here's Kenneth. He's on gin and tonic. There's Cedric, playing the guitar, Brian, playing the trombone, and David. Playing the fool. Well, there they are, the musicians and their instruments. Don't forget, for best results, keep them well oiled.
Finally, it's story time, when each week we tell you a story with musical symbols and several other instruments. And today, you can help me make up the story. It's all about a wicked baron.
How boring.
And a lovely young fairy.
Oh, what's his name?
A lovely young fairy princess. Now, let's hear the music for the wicked baron. And here's the lovely young princess. There she is. And listen, here comes a handsome young prince. And they all live next door to each other. The princess was a lady of purity and innocence.
How wet.
The prince had great charm.
Charming.
And the baron was wickedly handsome.
Ah, yeah, baby.
The princess was very lonely and very bored, for she never had much on.
Except her black silk bra.
She was really rather sad. She used to think, if only someone would love me for my innocence, and not just for my trombone playing. At last, one day, the handsome prince came to the castle and met the princess.
Cool, I bet she was tickled.
Alas, cried the princess. My life is so empty and barren.
Oh, yeah, baby.
It's also so beautiful, said the prince. Your eyes are like the eyes of a gentle little doe.
Oh, dear.
Overcome with emotion, the prince turned and ran.
His ice cold fingers up and down her lovely spine.
No, now let's have that one again.
She said.
No.
Did you all feel those fingers?
That's enough.
She said.
Who did?
The prince. No, the princess. Look, you're messing up my... and you've ruined my...
She said.
Oh, I'll... you for this.
Look, when does the wicked baron come in?
Just about now.
Hey!
Now, here is a news flash introduced by Tim Brooke-Taylor.
The House of Commons closed for the winter recess today. Throughout the afternoon, parents were arriving to collect MPs and take them home for the holidays.
And now, a lovely, warm, wonderful Irish song, all about the warm, wonderful Irish people. 'Twas on the 17th of May, upon the Thursday morn, in a hospital in Galway, mate, was there that I was born. Me mother took her very first look, as in me cot I lay, and I heard her gently whisper, in her quaint old Irish way, go on, get off, get out of here, and never come back again. He's such an horrible baby, put him back from where he came. Oh, your brother'll never know you, and your father'll be ashamed. Oh, you'll never find a welcome here in Ireland. So I went to seek me fortune fortune, 'cause I didn't fancy school. And I sailed across the 7 seas till I came to Liverpool. I reached the quay and yelled, look at me, straight from Ireland. And a couple of thousand dockers answered, well, isn't that grand? Yeah, go on, get out of here. Don't bother to leave your name. Is it Murphy or O'Reilly? To us they're all the same. We take you by your hand and send you back the way you came. You can go and find a welcome back in Ireland. Oh, for years I roamed around the world, forgotten and forlorn, till I returned at last to Galway and the place where I was born. Then I saw her there in her old wheelchair, a little lady, small and grey. I stared at her and she stared at me, till at last I heard her say, what are you staring at? Get out of here, never come back again. You're that ugly little baby I got rid of years ago. Of course I recognise you now, get out and close the door. Oh, you never find a welcome here in Ireland. Get out here.
We'll see you now, Mr. Watkins.
Oh, thank you very much. He wanted to see me, sir.
Ah, yes, my dear fellow. Come and sit down on this chair with this nice, new, comfortable, bright green cushion.
Thank you very much, sir. I do beg your pardon, sir.
They call it a cushy poop, you see. I've only just got it. Most humiliating. Isn't it humiliating?
Yes, sir.
Very humiliating indeed, isn't it? By Jove, it's humiliating. Sit down again.
Well, I'd rather not.
No, go on, sit down again. Go on.
All right.
Oh, isn't that humiliating? And again. Go on. All right, that's enough. Don't overdo it. Now, what do you want?
You sent for me, sir.
Oh, yes. What was your name again?
Watkins, sir.
Oh, yes, I better write it down, just in case I forget. Have you a pen I can borrow?
Oh, yes, sir.
My word, what a nice pen. Oh dear, I seem to have crushed it under my heel. Never mind, you can have this one.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Open it up and have a look at it.
Well, I'd rather not, sir.
Nonsense, go on, open it up.
Oh.
Oh, no, that surprised you, didn't it?
Very surprising, sir.
It's an exploding pen, is it? Oh, well, wrap this handkerchief round it, it'll soon stop. Now then, what do you want?
You sent for me, sir.
So I did. I wonder why. Probably just to humiliate you, I expect.
Was it about the rise I asked for?
That was it. Oh, yes, that's it. Oh. As from April the 4th, you will have an increase in salary of £1,000 a year. How about that?
Oh, sir, I don't know what.
No, but seriously, Watkins, you're fired.
But why?
Well, partly because we're having to cut down on staff, and partly because I enjoy it. No, that's an exaggeration. It's purely because I enjoy it. Now, this is where we say goodbye. What was your name again?
Watkins, sir.
Oh, yes. Oh, and there is one other little thing. As from last year, all my employees leaving the firm have to pay back all the wages they've earned. In your case, that would be £4,997, but let's just call it around 75 million.
You can't do this to me.
Yes, I can.
But no, I've had enough. I'm going to say my piece. You can listen up, Lumpet. 25 years I've worked for your lousy firm. 25 years I've sweated over my loom. And I have my rights, you know. Sweated labour, that's what they call it. And you can't get away with it. You can't write roughshod over all my hopes and dreams. Does the trade union movement mean nothing to you today? Is this the New Jerusalem? Is this the green and pleasant land we have striven for?
You've got egg on your chin.
have I, sir?
No.
Well, run along now. I'm finished with you.
Yes, sir, thank you, sir.
Jolly good. Oh, and if you see Watkins outside, tell him I want to see him, will you?
And tonight's guests in our series, Music for the Family, are the Frogs. The Frogs?
Your hair is short and your lips are showing. Your skirt's too small and your knees are glowing. Animal child, you're in the groove. You're driving me wild with the way you move. Move that thing.
Wait a minute. You can't do that.
Can't do what?
All that
What
bit.
it-
It's disgusting. It's a filthy song.
It's not as bad as We Love Nobby style.
Yeah, but look what happened to that. We want a nice, healthy song about hobbies or pets or something.
Oh, very well. 1, 2, 3, 4. Your eyes are brown and your hair is curly. Your nose is pink and you're soft and furry. I'm in the world 'cause I'm losing sleep, but not for a girl. I'm in love with a sheep. Let's hear you now. Hey, wild thing, look, I'm on the hunt. I love your legs, both back and front. Animal child, I'm in love with you. You're driving me wild with the way you move. Move that thing. Be my honey bee, so all the cats can see. I'm a wolf, so run real quick. You don't wanna be my chick. So come up close, let me hear you near. Whisper soft words in my ear. Love's not far away. If you're down at the RSPCA, wild things. I think you move me. Come on, hold me tight.
And now, episode 6 of our adventure serial, The Curse of the Flying Wombat, or Who Put the Tang in Lemon Meringue.
The story is so far.
Last week, we left our hero, Tim Brown Windsor, in... where was it?
Hong Kong?
No, I don't think so.
Oh. Well, does anyone remember?
Anyone remember? Does
Does anyone remember where we finished?
I remember!
Yes. Well, a particularly scruffy member of the studio audience, poorly little man, does seem to remember where we got to last week, and he's climbing up onto the stage now. How do you do?
I'm very great honour to be here, sir. And if I don't win a thing, I don't mind. I've enjoyed myself.
Yes,
so
well... It's not often we get the chance to meet an ugly little weevil like you. You don't mind my calling you an ugly little weevil,
Not
do
a
you?
bit, sir, not a bit.
No, good,
No,
because
I'd
that's what
enjoy
you
it,
are.
yes.
You're ugly, 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 ugly.
Yeah. Shall I start?
Yes.
Right, the story so far. Tim Brown Windsor and his friends are about to set sail for Aberdeen in search of the green-eyed little yellow dog, pursued by Casey O'Sullivan and Masha Wilkins. And anyway, Tim's fiancée, Fiona Rabbit Vacuum, who disguised as Jim Ladd, a cabin boy, in disguise as abducted by somebody, and so the others went back to get her again. And then there's Lady Constance and Old Hats and Captain Cleese and Old Peapod and Grimling and everybody and all doing the most extraordinary things because he wanted to get Jim Ladd back and everything. And things like that.
Very good. You can go away now.
Thank you very much. Can I open the box?
No, before you go, let's all give you a great big hand for being such an ugly little weevil.
Thank you.
No, on second thoughts, let's all give me a great big hand for being such a handsome brute.
So, Fiona Rabbit Vacuum has been carried off by some mysterious villain. Who was he? Where did he take her? What did he do with her?
Took one look at her and brought her straight back.
Very good.
Next morning, after breakfasting on cucumbers and radishes, we set sail with a fair wind.
3 days later, Captain Cleese sits below decks, writing in his log.
Well, they might have given him a cabin.
They did. It was a log cabin. Yeah.
February the 18th of August. How time flies. This morning, Mr. Hatch brought up my cocoa at 8 o'clock. Serve him right for drinking it at 7:30.
Good morning, Captain. I brought up your cocoa.
It's all right, I've already told them. Now, what were you going to say?
It's very rough, sir.
Yes, but we still get paid for doing it. Mind you, the sea's pretty rough, too. In fact, I feel quite seasick. Where are the crew?
They're up on the deck, heaving to.
Up on deck, there was great excitement.
Oh.
Hooray.
For the lookout had sighted a school of whales.
We'll keep away from
Be that as it may, I must pop below for a second. It probably won't be as good as the first, but here goes.
Hello, darling. Fancy meeting you.
Great powers, I know that voice.
Yes, darling. It's me, Maisie Robinson.
Not the international temptress.
The same. Or at least very similar.
Of course, I recognize you now. The beard had me fooled for a moment. When did you shave it off?
Oh, Tim, that's still the same old joker and the same old joke. All these years and you still haven't changed.
Well, it's a nice shirt.
Do you remember when you first met me?
Of course, you were breeding those large rabbit-like creatures.
Yes, it was air-raising.
Maisie! Maisie, we're alone, but if anyone comes in, they'd get the wrong impression.
But we're not doing anything.
That's what's wrong.
All right, let me tempt you.
No, seriously, I'm changed. I'm no longer attracted by loose women. I'm wearing a ring, and you know what that means?
Not.
Yes.
But you used to be so masculine.
That's not what it means.
Very well then. Very well then. Hold my hand.
No, I don't want to.
Take me in your arms.
There's no point.
Kiss me.
Means nothing.
Undress me.
That's more like it.
There's someone coming.
Damn.
It's all right. I shall disguise myself in this false red nose.
I say, it's rather brightly colored, isn't it?
Yes, but all my boyfriends find it very attractive.
You don't mean...
Yes, my lovers like a red nose. Look through the door.
I can't, it's made of wood. But I know those footsteps. It's my fiancée, Fiona Rabbit Vacuum.
Quick, I must change my accent.
Too late.
Timothy, what are you doing with that strange man?
It's a woman.
I thought it was a strange man. Who are you calling strange?
We would like to mention at this point that Miss Kendall is playing both Maisie Robinson and Fiona Rabbit Vacuum. See if you can spot which is which.
I thought it was a strange man. Who are you calling strange?
Did you spot the difference? To help you... Whenever Miss Kendall is playing Maisie Robinson, she has on her false red nose. And when she's playing Fiona Rabbit Vacuum, she has on her real red nose. Next week, we shall be having another woman in to help out. But we're rather short of false noses.
You don't mean...
Yes, I want some red noses for a new lady. Well, do carry on.
You brazen Nazi!
Oh, don't quarrel.
You scarlet woman!
Please, Fiona, Maisie.
You slut! Who are you calling a slut? I'm not quite sure.
Who's that?
Who's that? Who's that?
Ah, Timothy!
Auntie!
We would like to mention at this point that Mr. Brooke-Taylor is playing both Tim Brown-Windsor and Tim Brown-Windsor's auntie, Lady Constance de Coverlet. Let's hear those lines again.
Ah, Timothy!
Auntie!
Lady Constance!
Fiona Rabbit Vacuum!
Who is this?
It's my auntie.
Timothy!
Yes?
I'm Maisie Rabbit Robinson.
No, you're Fiona Robin Vacuum.
Timothy! Timothy!
Oh, God.
Who's that?
Who's that? Who's that?
Who's that?
Great news, Lady Constance. Your identical twin sister is arriving in the next episode.
For a fortnight or less, the Flying Wombat sailed the watery main. We passed the time fishing, and the captain caught a pair of boots.
Look, two nice souls.
Don't touch them, sir.
Why not?
They might be electric heels.
On Wednesday, we threw several lines over the side. On Thursday, the ship was becalmed.
Oh, it's so hot and sultry.
Water?
Water day for a daydream.
Captain, please help me up the stairs. I'm covered in mosquito bites.
Ah, Lady Constance, so you're coming up to scratch.
Oh, sir, all these years, and I've never seen anything like this, sir.
How old are you, Grimling?
108, sir.
Is that a fact?
No, it's a lie. Oh, look, sir, the sea, it's full of horrible, slimy creatures twisting and turning.
That's only Lady Constance gone for a quick dip.
And the waters are turning dank and stagnant. And the crew, they're turning dank and stagnant. And the sky a deep, lurid, and the sky a deep, lurid, horrible blue.
Yes, and the sun hanging in the rigging like a round red ball.
No, that's my balloon, sir.
But suddenly there came a noise from the crow's nest.
Hooray! A breeze at last. I feel like a new man.
How about me, Ducky?
Ah, we haven't had a puff for weeks.
Sir, the cloud is getting nearer and darker and huger. Oh, sir.
He's raving again.
No, it's Hurricane Flossie.
Not my identical twin sister.
Quick, hand me that mirror.
Why, Captain?
I need a moment to reflect. By Jove, I'm a handsome brute.
Hurricane, it's upon us.
All hands to the pumps, man the boats, women and children first.
After you, Auntie.
Thank you, Timothy.
Is this the end? Will the Flying Wombats go to the bottom?
Can't sing much lower.
Will they ever get the green eye of the little yellow dog?
Have you joined the Angus Prune fan club yet?
What will happen next week?
Aren't I a handsome brute?
You won't miss next week's episode, will you?
No, not a bit.
And so, with the exotic rhythm of the Angus Prune tune, exotic rhythm, we close this edition of I'm Sorry I'll Read That Again, which was written this week by Graham Garden, Derek Idle and Bill Oddie, with further material by Peter Hutchins and Peter and David Lund. The gaily coloured voices you heard belong to Tim Brooke-Taylor, John Cleese, David Hatch, Joe Kendall and Bill Oddie, who also wrote the songs. At this point, we would like to deny the vicious rumour now circulating about our producer, Humphrey Barclay. But I'm afraid we can't. So, there it is until the same time again next week, when you'll hear John Otto Cleese say...
It's I'm sorry, I'll read that again. Again.
My baby,
And at this time of day, it's hello and welcome to Program 7 in this series of the fastest show on Earth.
Oh, Tim, talk to me if you use 25 minutes. All right.
And now, Program 8, the fastest...
We once again bring to the microphone the friends of Angus Prune, Tim Brooke-Taylor, John Cleese, Davy Hatch, Joe Kendall and Benoni. And here is the voice of the nation's heartthrob, John Otto Cleese.
Camera. Action. Music. Music. Music! It's Movie Go Flat. It's not every day we get a chance to see a new Western. Probably only 2 or 3 times a week. The latest to arrive is Flower of the West, or The Lone Hydrangea. In this excerpt from the film, Tex Johnson, 6'3" in the saddle, 5'2" on the ground, and 4'6" in his socks, is determined to die with his boots on.
Oh, Mr. Johnson, are you gonna find the Clancy brothers?
Yes, sir, I am.
Mr. Johnson, are you gonna find the Clancy brothers single-handed?
Yes, sir, you bet I am.
Well, Mr. Johnson, the boys want me to give you something for them to remember you by.
What is it, Clem?
A tombstone.
It's kind of appropriate. I'm a religious man. My father was a canon.
Yeah, you son of a gun. Still, I guess, Mr. Johnson, you gotta go out and face them. All 5 of them. You gotta stand up and fight. You'll never be able to look yourself in the face again. Go on, Johnson, get out there. You gotta fight for yourself, or else you gotta run.
All right, I'll run.
But Johnson does return for this exciting climax, which contains some of the best written dialogue in the film. Yes, wonderful, powerful stuff. My favorite moment was the end. But just before that, there's a beautiful final scene with the heroine.
Must be moseying along now, Miss Crawford. Guess we had some good times together.
Guess again, Tex.
We had some bad times together?
Right. Still, I'll never forget you, Mr. Crabtree.
Johnson.
Sorry. Guess I'll never forget you, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you, Miss Crawford.
You can call me Susan.
That's a relief. I never could stand Mary Lou.
Well, so long, Tex.
So long, Susan.
Goodbye, Tex.
Goodbye, Susan.
Tex.
Susan. Say, which way is the sunset?
Flower of the West. Which brings us on to studio news. Many of you probably heard the sad news this week. If you didn't, here's Clifton Weaver to tell you about it.
This week, Clarence Rock, born Clarence Rock in 1910, died quietly in his sleep while watching the Eamon Andrews show. His was the almost classic story of the poor son of a millionaire who reached the top. Some of his critics claimed that Clara, as we used to call him, was not quite masculine enough for the screen. What nonsense. It is true he always asked for a stuntman to play his love scenes, but this was because of his height, or rather lack of height. For whenever he acted, he needed to stand on 3 orange boxes. And as he put it, you need to be a stuntman, sweetie, to play a love scene on 3 orange boxes. And Clarence, though stunted, was no stuntman. Clara's greatest year was probably 1938, when he won an Oscar as Best Actor of the Year for his portrayal of Julius Caesar. What a fine achievement this was, especially as you'd already won the Best Actress award as Caesar's wife. Yes, we will remember you, Clarence Rock.
Thank you, Clifton. The Wapping Film Festival ended today. Alex Tideway reports from Moscow.
The curtain has fallen, the players are gone to each other's homes and beds. The black clocks are in mourning for the evening as darkness falls helplessly to the ground. The critics are dispersed, and for many of them, this is the end of another film festival. For in fact, today, the festival ended. Ended here today as the curtains fell, the lights went out, the bunting came down, on another triumph. Or was it? Who knows? For though this is the end, in another very real sense, it's only the beginning. Or not. It's difficult to say. It's difficult to talk about this week, which marks the start of another week and the close of the last. It's difficult and dull. In my end is my beginning, said F.W. Jack somewhat wittily, and he was off his head. Alas. And that, from Wapping, is it for another year. The glitter has faded, the noise has died, the curtain has fallen, the pumas have winnowed away, the bunting has come down, the gondoliers have crumbled, the rubbish has been eaten, the cashier has been flayed, and Edward II had a painful death. Whatever else happens, we can be sure of one thing. Today, the Wapping Film Festival ended. Probably.
The latest musical to hit London is The Sound of Monks, starring Eamon and Julie Andrews, which opened for 5 years last Tuesday. This injects into a rather hackneyed theme of a singing monk the ingredients of a spy movie. Sex, dope, unwanted pregnancy, all of which the hero experiences. The hero of the film is Brother Louis. The girl he loves, Teresa, is, unbeknown to him, a plainclothes nun. The climax of the film comes where the strike at the mill threatens to get out of hand. Teresa, temporarily blinded through guilt at her treatment of Joshua, threatened by the flames from the body of the cruel mill owner, and cowering from the bullets of the mob, suddenly calms everybody.
Brother Louis,
Yes, Teresa?
hold my hand.
I'm holding it, Teresa.
Play the guitar.
I can't.
Why not?
You're holding my hand.
Sing us a sentimental, irrelevant song, Louis.
Of course.
Did you do that with the guitar?
Yes.
It's a miracle.
Anything's possible on a soundtrack.
Oh, I feel so sad and unimportant.
No. Then I'll tell you how to make yourself happy and on top of the world.
Oh, good.
Whenever a monkey's feeling sunk and the sky above is black, no matter how much he tells his beads, they always answer back. Well, then he will pick his Latin dictionary off the shelf, and after a while he begins to smile as he mutters to himself. Antebellum laudidata arma mutatorum. If the people stare at you, you simply must ignore them. I suppose it has a meaning, but I'm really not too sure. Antebellum laudidata arma mutatorum. Rum tum diddly rum diddly rum diddly rum tum diddly rum diddly rum diddly. When the old routine is getting you down, the days go trudging by, and you can't kick the abbot, no matter how you try. When you're not well and life is one long miserere, then you'll find heaven at the top of A7 on the Latin dictionary. All together now. Antebellum laudidata arma mutatorum. If you don't impress them, then you certainly will bore them. Say it very slowly, or you'll dislocate your jaw. Antebellum laudidata arma mutatorum. Rum dum diddly rum diddly rum diddly rum dum diddly rum diddly rum diddly. Not long ago, I was feeling low and sulking in the sun, asking what fun can a monk have, when answer came there, no! I thought, hey, but then thought, nay, I'm celibate forever. But then she held me near and whispered in my ear,
Antebellum laudidata arma mutatorum.
and now we celebrate together. Oh, antebellum laudidata arma mutatorum. When the sisters say it, then you can't help but adore them. Come on, everybody, more and more and more and more. Antebellum laudidata arma mutatorum. Antebellum laudidata arma mutatorum. Antebellum laudidata arma mutatorum.
Hello. What's all this then? What's going on here?
I'm cooking your supper, John. Now, why don't you go and sit down in the lounge?
Wait a moment. What's your name?
I'm your wife, Mary Pulp.
Mary Pulp. Address?
Now, John, I'll bring you in supper in a moment. Why don't you
Wait
just...
wait a tick. What are you doing?
I'm cooking.
Cooking? Who do you think you are, Philip Arbon?
No. Now, you go and sit down.
You trying to tell me what to do, sir?
John, darling, do you have to behave like a policeman the whole
I'm
time?
afraid so. Anyway, I'm not a policeman. I'm a spy.
John, please, you don't have to pretend to me. You're a policeman, and you've been a policeman for 30 years, and I'm very proud of you. And you don't have to pretend that you're a spy just because that's more romantic than being a policeman.
I'm a spy. I'm a spy. Being a policeman is only my cover story.
Yes, all right, John, darling, you're a spy. Now, you go and put your rabbit disguise on and wait for dinner.
And I'm a famous trapeze artist.
Well, that's very clever, John. Now, why don't you go into the garden and chop the tree down again?
Hello? 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 What's that man under the table?
Oh, John, there's something I've been meaning to tell you.
Right, let's have it then.
Well, John, it's a long story. You must know things between us haven't been, well, what they were when we were first married.
Wait a moment. First married. Right.
Anyway, I met Roderick 6 years ago, and John, darling.
Constable, if you please.
And Constable, darling. Well, it was destiny. The chemistry was right. You know how these things happen. A fusion of kindred spirits. I don't know what you call it. All I know, for the first time in my life, I was in love.
Fusion of kindred spirits.
John, can't you listen just for once? I'm talking about us. Why do you have to write everything down?
Listen just for once.
John, I can't stand it anymore. I'm going to leave you. I'm going away with Roderick.
Wait a moment. Wait a moment. I've broken my pencil. How unromantic. Well, you've got to be prepared for anything if you're an international spy.
You're not an international spy. You're not even a policeman.
What?
Yes, I know. I've known for 30 years. You're not a policeman. You're a boring old chartered accountant, going around dressed up as a policeman, pretending you're a spy. Everybody knows you're an accountant.
Oh.
The bowler hat, you fool, the bowler hat. Policemen wear helmets.
Oh.
And long trousers.
We are now interrupting the programme to go over live via the early bird satellite to Paris for the all-important speech which the Prime Minister is to deliver to the delegates of the Convention Nationale and President de Gaulle. We join Television Française just as Mr. Wilson has walked onto the platform.
Bonsoir, mes amis. Je salue votre président et mon camarade Charles de Gaulle. Et Madame de Gaulle. Mais vous savez, j'ai un message sérieux au sujet de la grande avion le Concorde. Un projet mutuel. Mais la monnaie vous créez. C'est vrai, en Angleterre, nous avons un petit spot de trouble. Après 13 ans de torimis règle. Mais en Angleterre, nous avons maintenant un gouvernement progressif, radical et dynamique. Et nous avons le grand squeeze anglais. Qui n'est pas la même chose comme le grand squeeze français. Oh non. Mon ministre est mon ami Georges Brun et moi. Nous aimons les discussions franques. Il y a un proverbe de Yorkshire. Where there's a will, there's a way. Où il y a un testament, il y a une roue. Et vous savez, j'ai un projet nouveau de collaboration. Lovecraft. Lovecraft, le transport avec le large future. Bientôt, votre président parlera au sujet de Lovecraft avec ma ministre de Transport, Madame Barbara Chateau. finalement et en conclusion, je veux être perfectement honnête avec vous. Mais c'est impossible. Bonsoir.
Are you 21? Are you over 6 feet, well-educated, good-looking, physically fit, with good vision and healthy lungs? Are you tired of your present unexciting work and think you're suited for a better job? Cocky little devil, aren't you? Tonight, by special request, we have a return visit of the Tillingbourne Folk and Madrigal Society. Here they are in a tea-time concert entitled The Tillingbourne Folk and Madrigal Society Sing de Blues and All Dat Jazz. Thank you.
Wow! I just want to tell you, when I've been working on the railroad, oh yeah, 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 yeah. I've been working on the railroad, yes I have. I've been working on the railroad. Oh yeah, 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 that's what I've been doing, working on the railroad, oh yeah.
No need to shout, Mr. Oddie. That's better.
I'm working on the railroad all the day. I wanna go down where the whiteys sway. I don't gonna see my Snow White ma'am way down south in Cheltenham. Swing that piano, Mr. Lee. Holy mackerel and a cup of tea.
2 lumps.
Oh, honey, 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 ain't you gonna hear me shout?
Oh, Lord.
Oh, honey, 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 shake that thing about.
Isn't he rhythmic?
Oh, I done got them dirty blues. Gonna wake up in the morning with my dancing shoes.
Wonderful
Take
sense of
me,
rhythm.
mama, in your feather bed. Rock me till my face turns cherry red.
What was that?
I wanna get it in my soul. Couple on some of that jelly roll.
It's Cameron, I'm afraid.
Oh, honey, 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 ain't you gonna hear me shout?
Oh, Lordy.
Oh, honey, 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 shake that thing about.
It's a wild primitive.
Get bass and beat to skin. Show me how to do it on New Orleans. I got mojo working, I'm feeling fine. Everybody down still, 9:30. Shake it now and go, go, go. Just like the black and white minstrel show.
Ah, Saturn.
Oh, honey, 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 ain't you gonna hear me shout? Oh, lordy, lordy, oh, honey, 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 shake that thing about. One more time, cats. Oh, honey, 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 ain't you gonna hear me shout? Good heavens. Oh, honey, 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 shake that thing about. Oh, shake that thing about. Oh, yes.
Possibly.
Ladies and gentlemen, we present another week installment. I'm sorry. Sorry, I'll read that again. Another week's installment of our serial.
You'll pay for this?
Why?
It's an HP installment.
Oh, what sauce?
Be that as it may, the story you're about to hear is true. Only the facts have been changed to make it more interesting. We present part 7
That's a serial number.
of our 3-part serial, The Curse of the Flying Wombat.
Oh, not again.
Last week, we left Tim Brown-Windsor and his gallant friends in the clutches of Hurricane Flossie. There they were in the middle of the tempest.
Blow winds and crack your cheeks, won't you, Hurricane?
No, that's King Lear.
Oh, I'm the King Lear.
Oh, no, you're not.
Oh, yes, I am.
As the storm rises, Captain Otto Cleese makes a last desperate entry in his logbook.
Dear logbook, we can't go on meeting like this.
Suddenly, there is a tumultuous thunderclap. Captain Cleese, the hurricane do be upon us, we do be done for. Oh, Captain, 'tis a terrible storm, a terrible storm.
Yes, I know, these sound effects aren't what they used to be. Oh, it stopped.
And so we were saved. Next morning, as we sailed peacefully over the waters of the mid-Atlantic, there came a cry from the lookout.
Land!
holders?
Immediately, the whole ship was in confusion. Down in her cabin, the sudden jolt hurled Lady Constance from her bunk.
Oh! 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 Oh!
Auntie, are you all right?
What happened, Lady Constance?
Well, I was having this beautiful dream. There were just the two of us, Elvis Presley and me. He was leaning closer and closer, murmuring, "Kiss me, Constance, kiss me." And suddenly, there I was on the floor, a fallen woman.
It must have been terrible in here, Tim, darling. Look at the debris scattered round the cabin.
That's Grimbling. I fell on him.
Up on deck, the whole crew clustered round the captain.
Where are we, Captain?
Oh, surely you recognize this place. The great icebergs, the penguins, the polar bears, the friendly people in their fur coats rushing out of their igloos to welcome us. Why, it's,
Look at those sandy wastes, hundreds of them.
Come, my dear, what's your name?
Lucy.
And you?
Lucy.
And you?
Lucy.
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 You know what this means?
Not.
Yes, it's a Lucy nation.
So, we landed on the coast of Zanzibar and decided to make our way to Kathmandu on foot. Or rather, for all of us except Grimbling, on feet.
To Kathmandu!
But before we set off there was something vital we had to know.
Excuse me, which way is Kathmandu?
Never heard of it, mate.
Obviously, we needed help, so we decided to get to know the locals. But it was still half an hour before opening time, so we visited the bazaar and mingled with the street criers.
What's the matter with you? But it's half an hour to opening time.
Hey, you want to buy sexy newborn slave girl?
No, we're looking for a native bearer.
You don't get natives much better than this. Hello.
Oh, how are you, dear? Yes, I thought so. Come, we must look elsewhere.
Excuse me, I wonder if I can help.
Why, how much are you?
No, I'm Colonel Clutch Feathering Hall, the local military attaché.
The military what?
Attaché.
All fall down.
Yes, I expect you're looking for an African guide.
Yes.
Yes, and I'd like to introduce you to my white hunter.
How did you get?
He's not a white hunter.
Man, I hunted more whites than you had hot missionaries.
Mboka Mbua, Balzuki, Chalbuma, Nantwangi, what?
What did he say?
I don't know, he was talking to you.
We're wasting time. Colonel, will you accompany me?
Oh, and it's certainly, yes.
Overhead the moon is beaming, 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 beaming.
Thank you, you play very well.
Tell me, Captain, what are you going to look for?
Something all men desire.
King Solomon's mine?
That's all right, you can have him. We're off to the Green Eye, the little yellow dog. Now we must gather supplies for the trip. Have you got a quartermaster?
Yes, that's him lying over there.
But he's almost dead.
Well, he's more of a half-master.
You'll do. Come here, my man, and show us what you're selling.
Captain, look at the supply keeper.
Good heavens, it's a Chinaman.
Supplies.
Well then, can you tell us your name?
I am a Wong, sir.
Well, have another guess.
No, sir. My name is Wong.
Oh.
And this is my brother. Ha. He is a Wong, too.
Never mind. Will you come with us on our journey?
My brother, he say, would you repeat the question?
£90 a week.
A pleasure.
And so the little band set out. 11 souls alone in the jungle. 11 souls venturing into the pitiless wilderness from which only 12 would emerge alive.
Oh, Timsy Whimsy, I'm exhausted. For the last 3 hours we've been struggling onwards, hacking our way through the bush.
Well, it's a very large bush.
Oh, Timmikin, I can't stand it. The dreadful heat, the thorns, the agony of every step we take. Struggling, onward, ever onward. I can't stand it, darling. I can't stand it, I tell you, it's terrible, terrible. I can't go on much longer.
You've gone on quite long enough.
Oh, what's that?
Shh, I think they're war drums.
No, listen.
Tea's ready!
Oh, they must be kettle drums.
Oh, look! Look over there! Oh, a huge figure looming out of the undergrowth.
Who is it? Who's there?
Hello, fancy meeting you out there. In the muddle of the jingle.
It's Masha Wilkins.
Yeah, and I've been trailing you through this impenetrable ferret. I mean forest. No, I don't, I mean stoat.
Stoat?
Yeah, totally impenetrable. You get so easily lost.
So you still intend to beat us to the green eye of the little yellow dog?
Yeah, and I know where to find it. I've got a mop.
You mean a map?
Yeah, and that's how I know.
What do you know?
I've forgotten. Nathless, we shall meet again, and until we do, goodbye.
Onward we strode. It was a terrible, difficult journey. I had to keep going, which didn't make it any easier. But at nightfall, we reached a little clearing in the forest.
Ah, yes, well, this looks like a good place. Nose bone, light a fire.
I don't have no matches, Buana.
Oh, well, rub the two Chinamen together.
It'll well not work.
Why not?
Old Chinese is a proverb. He said 2 wrongs don't make a light. Very old proverb.
That night we all sat down to dine off a wild boar, but the place kept falling off its back. Maisie Robinson, the international temptress, behaved disgracefully. Let me tempt you, my darling. Oh, you're so beautiful, so strong, so virile.
Oh, you're too kind, miss.
But suddenly someone noticed.
Have you seen Lady Constance?
Yes, grotesque, isn't it?
No, what I mean is she seems to have disappeared.
Odd socks.
I beg your pardon?
It's all right, I seem to have dressed carelessly.
But what can have become of her?
Good grief! Look over there through the trees. A giant water vole swinging through the branches with Lady Constance clasped in its hideous paws.
Help! Let me go, you brute! Unhand me, you monster! You're tickling.
The poor creature!
Yes, I hate to think what she'll do to it. Quickly! We must go after them and get her back. I only hope we're in time.
Oh, I hope so!
I hope so.
Is this the end of Lady Constance?
No.
Well, is this the end of Lady Constance?
Ah, that looks more like it.
Tune in again next week to the swinging BBC's wackiest station for another switched-on hippie go-go swing-along ding-dong zazazoom jam-packed, fruit-filled lemon meringue pie of an episode of your famous hot patootie cereal. Till then, pip-pip all things and don't miss your next ration. Oh, boom, sow, kapow, and thank. Bye!
And so, with the Angus Prune tune, we end another edition of I'm Sorry, I'll Read That Again, in which you heard Tim Brooke-Taylor, John Cleese, David Hatch, Joe Kendall, and Bill Oddie. The scripts were by Tim Brooke-Taylor, Ian Lang, Graham Chapman, John Cleese, Graham Garden, David Hatch, Eric Idle, and Bill Oddie, who also wrote the songs. Musical support was provided by Dave Lee. At this point, we usually make a joke about our producer, Humphrey Barclay. Well, there's no joke like an old joke. So that's it until the same time next week, when once again the golden voice of the nation's heartthrob will tell you...
It's I'm sorry, I'll read that again.
My name is Angus Prune, and I always listen to I'm sorry, I'll read that again. Yeah, my name's Angus Prune, and I'm sorry, I'll read that again. Well, I see, Papa, but I haven't enough, because the sit tune is named after me. My name's Angus Prune, and the thing I do is not I. S-I-R-T-A, I'm sorry, I'll read that again. Bring back Dick Ball, I agree. Dearly Salicious, I am sending this message to you by drum because I have just heard this wonderful program on the Bush radio that is being put out by the BBC and all that. Oh, yes. It am the riot of comedy and missionary humor, and I and my fellow colleagues am falling about with laughter at all the highly comical jokes and quipperoos therein. So here's hoping that you too will be tuning in and slapping the sides with jocularity and so on. Hallelujah. Yours, Feather Betty. Oh, dear. I'm sorry, I'll beat that again. Yours ever, Freddie.
And so, with the Angus Prune war chant, it am time for Tim Brooke-Taylor, John Cleese, David Hatch, Joe Kendall and Bilotti to bring you the wonderful programme for the Sunshine People. With a crispy sparkle that am as titillating as the Sunshine Breakfast. Oh my.
Yes, I'm sorry, I'll read that again.
Time now for another look at the latest developments from the scientific world in another edition of The Day After Tomorrow's World with Harry Hackwater.
Hello. Well, first of all, in today's programme, let's look at the most fantastic, astounding and amazing British advance of recent years. Yes, it's the hovercraft.
Hooray!
Again. Since this fantastic, astounding and amazing breakthrough several years ago, the hovercraft has progressed by leaps and bounds, which is why it's so unpleasant to ride in.
The principle of the hovercraft is quite simple and can be illustrated by a simple analogy. When you throw a stone into a bucket of water, the ripples spread outwards. Or, to put it another way, when you throw a hovercraft into a bucket of water, the ripples spread outwards. Or, to put it another way, inwards. Recently, fantastic, astounding and amazing British research has been going on to develop a hovercraft small enough to be thrown into a bucket of water.
The latest communication satellite, ComSat Mark III, which is short for Communication Satellite Mark IV, was launched only yesterday. By means of this relay, my voice will now be bounced from our transmitter to Goonhilly Down, then up to ComSat 3, down again to 37 Edith Road, Purley, from there to 38 Edith Road, Purley, via the radio mast in Tokyo, and from there to our expert, Dr. Brooke Ferret, sitting opposite me in the studio. Can you hear me, Dr. Brooke Ferret?
No, I can't hear you.
Oh, well, I can't hear you either.
You'll have to speak up a little.
I said I can't hear you either.
And neither can I.
Well, we seem to be having a little trouble, so I'll just say goodbye, Dr. Brooke Ferret.
Hello?
Professor Otto Cleese has recently published a paper on the language of the three-toed sloth. Professor, do you mean to say that you understand this language?
Oh, yes, I do. Bim, zom, pim, boodle-dum, boodle-dum, boodle-dum.
And that was the language of the three-toed sloth?
No. No, I don't know what came over me. I do apologize.
Well, could you give us an example of their language? I mean, how would a three-toed sloth say good evening?
It would say, good evening.
But have you ever heard a three-toed sloth say good evening?
No, they're dumb, you see. They're also very, very rude, so they probably wouldn't bother to say good evening anyway, even if they could. They'd probably just walk straight in and eat your slippers.
So they can't speak at all?
No, not a word. And they'd lisp.
This business of communication must be quite a problem. If I may make a simple analogy, when you throw a stone in a bucket of water, the ripples spread outward.
Exactly. And if you throw a stone into a bucket of three-toed sloths, you wouldn't get any ripples at all. They just lie there shouting, please stop it.
I thought you said they were dumb.
Yes, but they're not that dumb.
And finally, Professor, may I ask you a rather personal question?
Certainly.
What colour is your underwear?
Pink. I don't care for it much myself. My wife bought it for me. No sense of taste, these three-toed sloths.
Well, that ends this edition, and thanks to the satellites, we'll be back yesterday with yet another edition of The Day After Tomorrow's World at the same time last week. Happy New Year. And now it's survey time. Today, I'm sorry I'll read that again, pays tribute to the pride of Britain's heritage. Today, we examine the foundation of her greatness. Yes, today we take a look at the seat of British law.
What are you staring at, young man?
Ladies and gentlemen, we present the Clapham Mystery Trial of 1960 now. A story second only to the Buxton Sheepdog Trial of 1960 then.
Early in February 1960 now, there occurred a crime so devilish that the whole nation was audibly shocked.
Oh, I am shocked.
This was the astounding act that preceded the Clapham Mystery Trial.
By now, the learned counsels have been given their briefs.
Don't they look super in them?
And so, come with us as we join the proceedings in number 3 court.
Would counsel kindly put down their rackets and get on with the case? Thank you. Usher, call the accused. Usher? Usher!
Bless you, my lad.
Thank you. And now call the accused.
My lad, I'm afraid we don't know who it is.
Don't we?
No, my lad.
Oh. Oh, well, that makes it all the more exciting. Well, call him anyway and see if anyone comes up. No, still no one. Oh, well, good. Now I can be the accused.
Oh, thank you, my lad. Most gracious of you.
Well, not at all.
Would you swear, please, my lad?
I never swear, Mr. Maltravers.
Well, just promise.
I promise.
Cross your heart and hope to die.
Cross my heart and hope to die.
Ferrets choke you if you lie.
Ferrets choke me if I lie.
Now, if I may call the first witness.
Well, certainly.
I call P.C. Tennyson.
Call P.C. Tennyson.
Call P.C. Tennyson.
P.C. Tennyson. You are P.C. Tennyson, a policeman?
Yes, I'm known in the force as W.L. Tennyson, the chocolate-coloured copper. If you were to require a little song, I would happily oblige.
Oh, how
I think not, Constable. Would you please tell us what happened to you on the 16th of February?
I was in Paris, sir, yes.
Paris?
Yes, sir, I was proceeding along the Bois de Boulogne with an independent air. You could hear the folks declare, he must be a millionaire.
Quite. Yes, P.C. Tennyson, and I believe that you met someone.
That is quite correct, sir.
And could you perhaps describe this person?
Yes, let me see now. Well, approximately 5'2", eyes of blue. Oh, how those eyes flash at you, and anybody see my girl?
Lad, please don't encourage him, my lad.
Oh, but I'm enjoying it. He's terribly good.
Oh, thank you, sir.
My lad, if I may be allowed to continue.
Have you something we could perhaps all join in, Constable?
Yes, sir, I could do some extracts from the Policeman's Opera.
Oh.
The Policeman's Opera? Splendid. I shall join in too, and pass the words round to the jury.
Certainly, my lad. Hello, hello, hello.
Now then, excuse me, sir. Hello, now then, excuse me, sir. You can't do that, dear. You can't do that, dear. I shall have to ask you to move along.
Oh, splendid.
Oh, thank you, sir. Hello, 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 hello. I've got flat feet.
He's got flat feet.
I've got flat feet because I'm on the beat.
He's on the beat.
I'm on the beat.
He's on the beat, and so he's got flat feet. He's on the beat.
I'm on the beat.
He's on the beat, and so he's got flat feet.
I've got flat feet.
He's got flat feet.
I've got flat feet because I'm on the beat.
That will be all, Constable.
Oh, thank you very much, Sam. Before I go, I'd like to finish with a little song entitled She Was Only a Clerk to the Council, but She Let the Borough Surveyor.
And so the trial continued. After 3 days, the judge was proved innocent, but insane. Then
Then the prosecuting counsel and the usher each took it in turns to be the accused, and Mr. Maltravers lost all his marbles. Witnesses and plaintiffs came and went at an alarming rate.
Call Harold Clubwinkle.
You are Harold Clubwinkle?
Yes.
You're guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
Quite correct. And the next.
Call Mavis Terrapin.
I'm Mavis Terrapin, that's who I am. If you were to ask me, I'd say I was innocent, that's what I'd say, but then who am I? I'm just Mavis Terrapin, that's who I am. Well, I think it's a shame, that's what I think. I think that if I were the judge, I'd soon show them what I think, that's what I say. After all, I'm...
Who was that?
An eyewitness, my love.
And the next.
Excuse me, but may I call someone?
Certainly, my lord.
Call Otto the Juggling Gollywog.
Juggling gollywog?
Yes.
But surely it's not relevant.
No. But it's the only chance I get to see him. It's a marvellous act.
Very well.
Call Otto the Juggling Gollywog.
Call Otto the Juggling Gollywog. 3 days later, a new witness stole the headlines.
Call Mr. Henry Fightballer.
Call Mr. Henry Fightballer.
You are Mr. Henry Fightballer?
I am!
You are a boxing MC?
Yes, my lords, ladies and gentlemen! Here I am in the witness box wearing the purple suit with the yellow tie at 14 stone 6 pounds, 5 foot 6 inches and 20 pounds a week. A former chief witness in the bomber Nippon doping case. Your very own Henry Fightballer! Doesn't he shout? Mr. Fightballer, could you speak a little lower? I beg your pardon, lord! I didn't quite hear you! You must be quieter! Thank you! Look, if you don't be quiet, I shall have to use my mallet! Oh, I did enjoy that.
Now, Mr. Fightballer, I understand you will fight anyone.
At a price, yes.
As long as I make it worth your while, you will fight anyone?
I will.
What is it now, my lad?
I'm just mending my chair, Mr. Maltravers. Just take no notice, do carry on.
So if I were to pay you enough, you would punch anyone here?
I would.
Do you see his lordship over there?
Yes, sir.
Hit him!
And so the trial went on and on. By now, the national interest was intense, and some of it in caravans. The entire proceedings were televised every evening, and the Clapham Mystery Trial of 1960 Now replaced even the most popular programs. It was, in fact, in the course of one of these evenings that at last a suspect was found, tried, and with all the gravity of British justice, finally convicted.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 6 months hard labour, or take your pick!
And can we have the next witness, please?
And the next witness is Mrs. Hilda Ribsnort from Wapping. Mrs. Hilda Ribsnort from Wapping.
Good evening, Hilda.
Good evening.
You did say Hilda, didn't you?
I did.
Or was it Florence? No, Florence, it was Hilda, wasn't it? Not
it
Florence.
was.
And you are here with your
was.
family.
I
And you're
am.
not married. It was
I'm
Gladys,
not
wasn't it?
married.
And you did come here by bus, didn't you? You're not married. Is your husband here tonight? Did you shake your head then? You did say Gladys, didn't you? You and I ever had... What was your name?
Hilda.
Not Gladys.
No.
Well, can we have the chief suspect back again? Oh, Jack. It was Jack, wasn't
Yes,
it?
it was Jack.
Jack, what sentence have you got thoughts on
Well, sir, I've
tonight?
had such a really interesting time here tonight, and I don't mind if I just get off with a caution. I really don't know.
Well, you have to answer one simple question, but first, let's just let the jury know some of the sentences that you can earn yourself tonight.
And tonight we have 6 months hard labour in Dartmoor. A full fine of £60. Or a slap in the eye with a custard pie.
Right, Jack. Now, you're not nervous, are you?
No.
Here's your one simple question. Are you guilty or not guilty? Now, think after now. Guilty or not guilty? Or not guilty? Now, you're not guilty. You're...
Guilty!
And guilty is the right answer. Now, what prize was it that you wanted?
Oh, I don't care. I've had such a good time. I really don't mind.
Well, Jack, chances are that we'll be putting you inside for a bit, but of course you can go free if you want. So let's see. How much will you bribe me to let you off? £5?
No, I'd rather go inside.
£7.10.
No.
15,
No.
15
No,
pounds?
no.
£15.10.
No.
15 pounds, 10 shillings and 6
No,
pence?
I'd rather go inside.
Oh, £25.
No.
All right, Jack. All right, Jack. You refuse to pay me £25. Let's see what you've been given. Oh, Jack. You did say you were married, didn't you?
Yes.
Oh, dear. Your lordship, would you kindly pronounce sentence?
Sentence.
The card.
Oh, yes. Jack Orange Weasel. We have tried you and found you not good enough. And it is therefore now my most enjoyable duty to sentence you to a slap in the eye with a custard pie.
Oh, no.
Oh, Jack.
Do you care to appeal?
How's that?
Not Ed.
Right. Have all the jury been issued with their pies?
Yes, my lord.
Right. 1,
Oh, no, don't.
2,
No, please.
3.
You can't do that.
Throw!
We've had very many stupid songs on this program.
I like that.
But what is to follow is probably the silliest yet. As usual, it's our dwarf that is responsible, Bill Oddie.
Fed up with that song. Oh, the three-toed sloth is always loath to submit itself for frying. And the bandicoot is a randy brute, what is always multiplying.
2 by 2 is 3. 3 by 3 is 9.
The elephant invariably can't, and the hedgehog has no heart. And the crocodile would run a mile if it saw a rhubarb tart.
What is he talking about?
No, there is but one beast I love the most.
He loves the most.
And it's to it that I drink this butter toast.
This butter toast.
He's gone quite mad.
All the ferrets of old England are smiling down on me. I came up from Alabama with a ferret on my knee. Now there's 40,000 ferrets working at the BBC. Oh, God bless the ferrets of old England. Oh, the ferrets of old England are the ferret best. They appeal to Kenneth Wollstonecraft and even Peter West. I believe that Malcolm Muggeridge wears a ferret on his chest. Oh, God bless the ferrets of old England. Now the ferrets of old England are marching as to war, and 1,040 ferret feet are trembling on the floor.
Do you like your ferret boiled or fried?
No, I prefer it raw.
God bless the ferrets of old England.
So it's forward with an eek, eek, eek.
As it's off to war they go. With an eek, 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 eek. As they're off to meet the foe. You can hear their eek, 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 eek.
Now can you hear them? No! Oh,
God bless the ferrets of old England.
all together now, shout out the word ferret, ferret.
Ferrets,
1 million homes throughout the country, people are squatting round their radio sets, scarcely able to control their excitement as they wait to hear the next spine-chilling, thrill-packed installment of... Try again. It's time once more for our serial...
Rimbling adamant.
Rimbling adamant! Rimbling adamant! Leave this man alone. Leave this man alone.
You don't know where he's been.
Last week, when Lady Constance was carried off by a gigantic water vole, we were deep in the jungle of Zanzibar. With Tim, Fiona, Captain Cleese, the Colonel, Nosebone, Maisie Robinson, Lady Constance, Wong the Chinese supply keeper, and his brother, Wong too.
And Grimbling.
What will happen to our heroic band of adventurers?
And Grimbling.
Is there anyone who can save Lady Constance now?
Yes, Grimbling. Grimbling can save her. Just leave it to Grimbling. I know the ways of the jungle, sir. King of the jungle, they used to call me. Ah! I used to go just like that as I swang through the trees. Ah! Oh, I think I'll just go and have a bit of a sit down.
The gigantic water vole, crazed with hunger, had carried Lady Constance off into the jungle.
Must have been crazed with something to carry her off.
Then in a little clearing, it put her down. And then it insulted her.
Surely you mean assaulted her.
Oh, come on, not even a water vole would have...
I heard that.
3 days later, the jungle was behind us, in front of us and all around us. Then our food ran out.
Come back, food!
Oh, well, we shall just have to live off the jungle like the wild animals.
What do they eat?
People.
Oh, is that what you do, Nosebone?
Yes, whenever I was hungry, I just unzip a buana. It was down very big in Kuala Lumpur.
But wait a minute, look, there's 2 nuts in that tree.
I think it's almond.
Yes, it is almond.
Good evening. Michaela and I have just returned from
One morning we were all moving through the jungle when Nosebone suddenly started.
Stop it, Nosebone.
No, listen, Buana. It sounds like a man-eating tiger.
Delicious, these tigers.
Yes, there he is, smacking. Yes. Yes, again. Yes, there he is, smacking his chops.
Naughty chops.
And look over there. Thousands of strangely clad creatures swaying with wild rhythmic gestures round the campfire.
We're riding along on the wave and the sun
Aha, native scouts.
I'll get Nosebone to speak to them. He's a brownie.
What you mean by that, honey? Okay, I'll go and trade with them.
Look, he's giving them a bag of blue beads.
And now they're giving him something back. What is it?
The bag of blue beads.
And now they're giving him something else.
What is it?
I think it's the Wolf Cub salute.
He's coming back.
What happened?
They gave me a sign.
Yes, we saw that.
They say, follow the direction of this arrow.
Which way is it pointing?
I'll pull it out and see. That way. Come on!
Come on! Come on! Oh, by the way, Nosebone, I've often wondered, why do you wear that bone on your head?
I'm very narrow-minded.
Fair enough. So for 2 more days we struggled on, till quite suddenly we rounded a corner in the undergrowth, and there in all its glory stood a vision of temples and palaces.
Ah, the glittering pagodas, the marble columns, the splendid minarets. Yes, there it was.
The Jungle Hilton.
Later that evening, Fiona Rabbit Vacuum was about to retire,
Poor old soul, she's past it.
when she suddenly noticed 2 slits in the curtains.
Supplies, supplies.
Oh dear, I know I I said I fancied Oriental men, but they shouldn't have got me Wong.
No, allow me to explain. I am not really Wong, the supply keeper.
Supply?
No, I am Charlie Wong, Chinese detective. And this is number one son, Wong 2.
What did he say?
He said, you wish to employ me to protect her.
Will it cost a lot?
I am most expensive, but a number one son thrown in for nothing, or as we say in my country, 1, 2, 3. Goes down very well in Peking.
Why should you help?
Oh, in my country, we have a saying, he who skins a greasy ferret shall have slippery fingers.
What's that got to do with it?
I often wonder. But now to business. You are on the track of the green eye of the little yellow dog, are you not?
Yes, but why are you interested in all this?
In our country, we have another saying.
What's that?
Get knotted.
Despite her experience, that night Fiona slept sound. And what a sound. Next morning she sprang from her bed. And she rushed into Tim's room, having forgotten her worries.
I say, Fiona.
Then together they ran out onto the beach and dived in.
Isn't it fun in the water?
It's fun anywhere.
Everything seemed so happy and peaceful when suddenly...
Yoo-hoo! I say, look out! Are you over there? Look out! Sharks! There must be, 23 of them coming up behind. No, wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 14, 15, 19, 20, 22 of them coming up behind you. Sharks! Help! Help!
Help! Sharks!
Is this the end for our hero and heroine? How can they escape?
Will the US cavalry reach the beleaguered fort in time before the Blackfeet attack? Can the hovercraft cross the Serpentine? Will Marty, son of the Wonder Horse, save his little master from the clutches of Peterkin, the ferret strangler? Is Brookfield Farm really up for auction? Will the mad professor pull the trigger before the aardvarks reach the summit of Mount Palomar?
Oh, do shut up.
Oh, bother.
Prune Tune brings to an end this edition of I'm Sorry, I'll Read That Again. The authors of these scandalous proceedings were Graham Garden, Eric Idle and Bill Oddie, who also committed the song. The voices you heard were those of Tim Brooke-Taylor, John Cleese, David Hatch, Joe Kendall and Bill Oddie. Musical evidence was supplied by Dave Lee, and the whole concern was produced by Humphrey Barclay. Now on sale at all BBC bookstores. So that's it until the same time next week, when John Otto Cleese will lure you to your crystal sets with the immortal words...
It's I'm sorry, I'll read that again. Again.
My name is Angus Prune, and I always listen to I'm sorry, I'll read that again. No, my name is Angus Prune, and I never miss him. Sorry, I'll read that again.
It's a play!
I spend my life when I have a life. I was sick to regret. After me,
Tell us your name.
my name is Angus Prune, and this is my tune. It goes, hi, H-I-R-T, hey, I'm sorry, I'll read that again. Anyone prove I'm taught? No, make me sing.
Ladies and gentlemen, here are the winners of this year's Radio Oscar Awards. Unanimously voted the most handsome brute on radio, John Otto Cleese.
Well, that's a surprise. Edmund Hopkridge was favourite for that one.
For his performance as the light bulb in Bleak House. The Peter Haig Award for the most boring man on radio,
This'll be Peter Haig.
David Hatch.
Well, that's a surprise.
For his performance as Othello, the award for the best exploding newsreader, Tim Brooke-Taylor.
He's fantastic.
The Joan Shark Bowl for best performance as the boys of King Edward the Banana Vest School, Kingston upon Volga, Jo Kendall.
And she's taken that off Peter West for the first time since 1938.
A special posthumous award for underwater singing, Bill Oddie. And finally, the Golden Vulture Award for the propagation of British ferrets above and beyond the call of duty. I'm sorry, I'll read that again.
Yes, all the way from Waterloo Station, the Angus Prune Tune brings to the microphone the winners of the Angus Prune Award for bravery. Tim Brooke-Taylor, John Cleese, David Hatch, Jo Kendall and Bill Oddie. And here is the voice of them all, the holder of the heartthrob of the nation, Pink Rose, John Otto Cleese.
It's, I'm sorry, I'll read that again.
Ladies and gentlemen, we present International Cabaret. And it's good evening to this truly international audience.
Guten Abend.
Bonjour.
Good evening, everybody.
This is the show with acts in so many languages, nobody knows what's going on. And we open with a big, big surprise. Last week we had Count Otto O'Reilly and his 6 performing seals. So now, tonight...
What was that?
The 7th seal.
Only Swedish, you.
And now for our first spot, it's most appropriate that with the show coming from Paris, we should have something for both the German and English parts of the audience. So here they are, a truly international comedy team, Fortescue and Fritz.
Guten Abend. Meine Herren, Damen, ich sage. Die Handgepäckaufbewahrung ist einiges Schluss gegraben in die Welt, als die hinunter obergroßen Führer viele Nacht ausgeschlüpft.
Hey, thank you, I'll have half a bitter. But seriously, Fritz, your dog bit me today.
Entschuldigen Sie bitte, aber mein Hund keine Zähne hat.
Nobody can give a very nasty suck.
Hey, aber warum ist es, Meistersinger rauchen kann, wenn Frau Wohlstrenge niemals seine Frühstück gegessen hat?
No, what is the difference between an elephant and a letterbox?
Eine Klatter von Mittelsdorf. Eine Klasse von Mittelsdorf ist und so weiter, ist nicht so klein wie ein Doppelöl straft der vierten nach der vierten.
And before we go, we'd like to sing a little song entitled...
Alle die Juten, die junge Juten, die Mittelachter Juten und die ältere Juten in der Schniegequieder West. Alles, sie müssen aufgespürt, nein, wir graben sie verliehen in das Strömen des Welt. Heute die Welt, Ergesten, Mitteldeutschland.
Or... Don't boil your granny in the bathtub, she...
Immer stinkt.
And now, all the way from Athens, here's Zorba the Creep with some real folk melody in the authentic Greek style.
Where hast thou been since I saw thee? On Ilkley Moor Batat. Where hast thou been since I saw thee? Where hast thou been since I saw thee? On Ilkley Moor Batat, on Ilkley Moor Batat, on Ilkley Moor Batat.
And finally, by special request of Ethiopian Emperor Highly Unlikely, our top of the bill, straight from the Folie Bergère, where he's not been appearing in anything, we have great pleasure in presenting with a new routine, specially for his French audience, that wonderful comic, Monsieur François Howard.
Merci, non, bonjour. Merci, mesdames et messieurs. Mesdames et messieurs. Ne ris pas, c'est moi François. Eh? Oui, François le sexy. How dare you? Ne titteray pas, ne titteray pas. A pas de tittering. Non, hey, venez, anyway. Yes, venez. Hey, j'ai juste vu le grand directeur de télévision. Oui, vous savez, le boss. Hey? Yes, funny homme, étrange. Oh, yeah, isn't he? Yes, non, eh bien, anyway, il dit à moi il dit François, c'est mon nom, oui, François. I said yes. He said, nous désirons que vous tous les grands spectacles de télévision. J'ai dit, oh, that's nice, isn't it? I said, nice. Il dit, oui, c'est magnifique. C'est le grand honneur pour vous. I said, oh, combien? Well, je ne suis pas daft. No. Is that enough? Yes!
And so it's good night from another international cabaret. Next week, Sheikh Wadi Ben Ahmed will be singing some Scottish folk songs.
I love a lassie.
We'll be welcoming 3 Chinese ventriloquists from Latvia. And top of the bill will be Vladimir Chin with his singing ferrets.
John, wake up. There's someone in the room.
What is it?
John, there's someone in the room.
I'm asleep.
No, you're not. There's someone in the room.
Oh.
Well, do something.
All right. I'll go to sleep.
No, John. Oh, John, why are you such a coward? You were even frightened of that moth last night.
I killed it.
Yes, John, but most people would have killed it with a newspaper, not by pushing a wardrobe over on it. Did you hear that? Find out who it is.
Who is it? Who's there?
Who's where?
There, where you are.
It's only me.
Oh, it's only him.
Only who?
Excuse my asking, but who are you only?
I'm the man from the gas board.
John, he's lying. He's a burglar.
Well, over here, we both think you're a burglar.
Well, I'm only an amateur burglar. I don't steal things.
Why not?
Well, then I'd be a professional and lose my place in the British Olympic burgling team.
Oh, that's all right.
Switch on the light.
I'll switch on the light.
No, don't do that!
Why not?
I haven't got any clothes on.
Why not?
I took them off so I wouldn't wake you up.
Ask him where he is.
Where are you?
I'm in bed with you.
What are you doing in our bed?
I got cold without my clothes on.
No, you get out of our bed, you naked man, or I'll report you to the Amateur Athletic Association.
Will you 3 keep quiet? We're trying to get some sleep right here.
Who's that?
Who's that?
Who's that? Who's we?
We're the Scottish team.
Well, what are you all doing in our bedroom?
Well, this amateur burgling is frowned upon in the key.
Now listen, all you teams are to get out of my bedroom immediately. Do you hear me? On your marks. You know, Mary, we're going to have to get the front door fixed. It is the deep purple of evening. The sun is slowly sinking.
Help, I'm sinking.
The south breeze wafts the magnolia.
Waft, waft.
An old cotton-picking and restless body rocks the cradle of his chocolate pickaninny and softly croons a soulful lullaby.
Wow! Now, baby, hush now. little baby, now go to sleep. Oh, go to sleep. Now don't you hear me? The Sandman calling. Now go to sleep. Yes, go to sleep. The shadows fall. The sun goes down. So drift away. Shh, don't make a sound. Oh, hush now, my little baby. Just go to sleep, yeah. Now go to sleep, yeah. While all the neighbors are in bed. So don't you cry. Now don't you cry. I'll suggest you rest your sleepy head. Now don't you cry. No, don't you cry. I'll rock you cradle all the night. Oh, hush, my darling. Be quiet. I will sing you a little baby. A lullaby, yeah. A lullaby, yeah. Sing your lullaby quick. Off you go now. Bye-bye. Listen to the nice music. Gently now, gently. Shut your eyes. Shut them. Hit you. Hit you. And hit you. I'm sorry, I'll sing you a nice sleepy song. All right? You like that one, you? All right, here we go then. Whoa. Right now, baby. Don't be crying, please don't sleep, please don't sleep. Right now, baby, right now, baby, right now, baby. Go, 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 go to sleep. So hush now, baby, don't you wake now. I gotta go get away, gotta go get away, gotta go to sleep. Right now, right now, right now, right now. A little baby, go to sleep now. And don't you cry now. Now go to sleep. Hold your tight and shut your eyes. Don't make a sound. Please go to sleep now. Please go to sleep. Oh. Hush now, little baby, before I give you a ruddy great clap round the head. Oh, he's asleep.
As you may know, I'm sorry I'll read that again, with its high content of literate and cerebral humour, has gained a not inconsiderable following among the intelligentsia.
What does that mean?
For sure. In fact, only last week we had a letter from 2 of our listeners asking if they could come along to the show and do a rather humorous little skit that they dashed off in their spare moments. And always eager to exploit new talents, we accepted their offer. And so, here are Sir Timothy Trimcandle.
Good evening.
And Professor Edward Plunkety, Fleetwood Robinson Jones, Ferret, Todd Mincing, Brown, Claus Farthing, Thistlewick, Catamole, Pood.
No, that's not quite right.
I'm sorry, I misread that. It should be Professor Edward Smith.
How do you do? Shall we start?
Please go right ahead.
Right-ho. Ready, Timmy?
Raring to go. Raring to go.
Right. Well, off we go then. Knock, knock.
Pardon?
I was just setting the scene.
Oh, I see.
Right. Well, let's start.
Watcha, cocky. I am...
Knock, knock.
What are you doing?
I was going knock, knock.
We've just done that bit.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were starting again.
No, that's all right. You just start off by saying knock, knock, and then...
Knock, knock.
Knock, knock, yes. And then I'll say, watcha, cocky. I am a poor...
That's right.
I've just started.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry.
Perfectly all right.
Fine.
Perfectly all right.
Right.
Now then, watcha, cocky.
Mm-hmm.
I am a poor impoverished writer by the name of William Shakespeare, and I have here some plays which I have written.
And don't you think we should have established the fact that this skit takes place in 1500
yes, good point,
Don't you think we should have done
Teddy,
that?
good point. Watcha, cocky. I am a poor, impoverished 16th century writer by the name of William Shakespeare, and I have here some plays.
Which I have written.
I don't think we really need to do that bit again, do you?
No, quite right, Timmy.
I don't think we do. No, go on, Teddy.
Knock, knock.
Not that bit.
How do you do? I am a well-known literary agent.
16th. Yes.
Oh, sorry, yes. Well-known 16th century literary agent.
16th century.
16th, yes, good.
Yes, 16th.
Well, let me see your plays.
Which I have written. I decided to put that in again after all.
Yes, very wise, I think, in the
long term.
In the long term, yes.
Well, here are the 16th century plays I have written. They are called Romeo and Juliet, Hamlet, King Lear, Macbeth, and Twelfth Night.
My word, Mr. Shakespeare, you certainly know your bacon.
That didn't go too well, Teddy.
Didn't go too well, did it?
Sticky audience, I think, Teddy.
Sticky audience?
Yes, never mind. Perhaps they'll laugh at the other jokes.
There aren't any other jokes, Teddy.
Well, we'd better do that one again, then. Go on.
Knock, knock.
No, not that. The last bit.
The last bit, yes.
Yes.
Well, Mr. Shakespeare.
Hello.
You certainly... Well, Mr. Shakespeare,
Oh,
you certainly know your bacon.
Not much better, the thing.
Perhaps we should have established that it was late 16th century,
Perhaps
do you
we
think?
should. Let's press on with the rest of the skit, eh?
Righto.
Yes.
It's my turn, isn't it?
I think it is your turn.
Yes, well, here goes. Well, goodbye, Mr. Shakespeare.
Goodbye.
Is that all there is? Seems a bit short, doesn't it?
Yes, it looked much longer on paper.
Much longer, yes.
On
Well,
paper.
thank you very much indeed, gentlemen. That was a real pleasure.
Do we get the part?
No, I'm afraid not. What we were really looking for was a skink impersonator.
And now a number from Mr. Rolf Ferret. Good evening, Rolf, and what are you playing with tonight?
I'm playing with my mumbumi.
Oh, yes, so I see. And what instrument are you going to play?
The Aboriginal sackbut, you see.
I
Yeah.
believe there are very few of these left. Now, why's that?
Well, you just wait till you hear it, you'll realise.
Well, where did you get this one?
In the Central Plain, you know the River Darling?
Yes, sweetheart.
Well, near there.
Now, Rolf, will you explain to us how you record one of your famous Australian songs?
You just try and stop me. This is an Aborigine washing up song. We set the basic rhythm with a sound representing a big stone slapping tea leaves on the river bank. Next, my assistant eats 3 plates of radishes and then he makes this noise. Now we can add the mating squeak of the great Australian bush fairy. There you are. Then we add the sound of a kangaroo listening to the test match. Finally, there's just one thing left to put on.
What's that?
My voice. And here we go with a real authentic Australian folk song. Oh, I've got a gal, a funny little gal, she lives down Wollongong. I saw her koala bear down by the Billabong. Now I'm her man and Billy can and does do lots of things. I often twangs her boomerang and that's when Alice springs. Why did the kangaroo? There's a wombat in my tacker bag, so what can a didgeridoo? I long to be a wallaby and cause a lot of fuss. On a rugby field they'd have to yield when they felt my platypus. We'd have such fun in a rugby scrum, oh I would hold you tight and pull you near and have your ear in a great Australian bite. Loo-ho, why did the kangaroo? There's a wombat in my tucker bag, so what can a didgeridoo? All together, loo-ho, why did the kangaroo? There's a wombat in my tucker bag, so what can a didgeridoo? Let's all call it the dingo hall. What can a didgeridoo? We're all hip on a pirate ship, oh what can a didgeridoo?
Ladies and gentlemen, we present Sapphire Loren, Peter O'Toole, Laurence Olivier, Charlton Heston, and Peter Haig in episode 9 of our thrilling serial, The Curse of the Flying Wombat. And this week week's special guests are Joe Kendall, Tim Brooke-Taylor, John Cleese, David Hatch and Bill Oddie, who are appearing as Sophia Loren, Peter O'Toole, Laurence Olivier, Charlton Heston and Peter Hay. You may remember last week, and you may remember the week before, but you've probably forgotten that at the end of last week's episode, Tim Brown-Windsor and his fiancée Fiona Rabbit-Vacuum were having a quiet swim in the limpid waters, or a quiet limb in the swimmid waters of the Indian Ocean.
Excuse me, but how do you know it's the Indian Ocean?
I can see Nepal.
What's happened to him?
Well, you know what they say, see Nepal and die.
That's an appalling joke.
Anyway, all of a sudden, Captain Cleese sighted sharks.
I say, look out, sharks! Help! Help! Look out, sharks!
Help! Help! Sharks! Help!
No, I'm sorry, they're herrings.
Well, what on earth made you say they were sharks?
Well, I was confused by the way they were all dancing around singing Nellie Dean.
You're not going to say they were pickled herrings?
Not with this audience, no.
In a moment, the whole party was on the scene. Lady Constance, Maisie Robinson, the international temptress, Colonel Clutch Featheringhall,
And Grimbling.
Nosebone, the great white hunter, Wong the supply keeper, and his brother Wong too.
And Grimbling.
Little did they know that while their backs were turned, the mysterious Casey O'Sullivan and his henchman Masher Wilkins were busy plotting.
And Grimbling. Grimble, grimble, grimble.
Suddenly, the two blackguards soared through the piece of string connecting the jetty to the mainland, and it floated away. 10 souls adrift on a floating desert mainland. Captain Cleese knew exactly what to say.
We're in trouble.
You're right, Captain. Look at us. We've all turned dark red.
Yes, we're marooned. But we must get under control. Now, has anyone here driven a mainland before?
I used to have a Land Rover.
Well, how did it go?
Woof, woof.
That's a Jeep joke. Now, you three go over and sit on the edge and row us along. And Grimbling, you too. Take a paddle.
Quick, look, steer to the left.
So there is.
Silly old cow.
Did somebody call?
So on they drifted, lazing their days away.
Laze.
On through the Tropic of Cancer. Lady Chatterley's lover, Fanny Hill. But after 6 weeks, they still weren't getting anywhere.
They're not reading them properly, are they? Captain, quick look, there's a bottle floating in the water.
What does it say?
It says, just a minute. As it says, bottled in Scotland.
Suddenly, Tim Brown-Windsor noticed something in the sand.
I say, look, everybody, something in the sand.
Well, start digging.
Oh, yeah, baby. Ooh, boopy, ski bound, ski ball, cool man, dig, dig,
No. In the sand.
Oh, yes, I've hit something. There's something buried here.
Well, dig it out.
Here we are. It's a small boat.
Oh, a dugout canoe.
You're right. And look, there are 2 sinister Eastern gentlemen in it.
What on earth were they doing down
We
there?
belong to an underground movement.
Oh, it sucks. It's the notorious Arabian alcoholic. Must have a pint, and his friend. The Syrian bookie, Ali.
Ali what?
Ali, 10 to 1 to field.
And there's a woman with them.
Ah, is this the woman you are pleased to call your wife?
No,
You mean you're not married?
I'm not pleased. Come here. You can have her for a song.
Oh, very well.
The moon is beaming.
Good heavens! What's that old bag you've got there?
He says it's his wife.
Well, open it up and see.
I'm frightened.
Listen, there's something singing in there.
I know that voice anywhere.
Who is it, Lady Constance?
It's Flossie, my twin sister.
We would like to mention at this point that Mr. Brooke-Taylor is playing not only Tim Brown-Windsor, but both his aunts as well. Lady Constance de Coverlet
Flossie.
and her sister Flossie.
Constant.
If you have any complaints, please write to Tim Brooke-Taylor enclosing a stamped addressed vulture.
Now, dear boy.
Yes?
Don't interrupt. Introduce me to your friends.
Okay, Captain Cleese, this is my aunt's twin sister Flossie.
How do you do? My word, aren't they a splendid pair?
So glad you noticed.
Excuse me, madam. You aren't by any chance Hurricane Flossie, the vaudeville vamp?
Yes. Yes,
You mean you were on the board?
frequently. I used to impersonate all the famous women of my day. Sarah Bernhardt, Marjorie Hatchfield, Ethel Spriggs. I used to get up on the stage and take them all off.
What an act that was, yeah.
Excuse me, Lady Constance. Tea's ready. The hen's laid 2 nice eggs and I've laid the table. And later you're all invited for an Indian meal and a booze up.
Ah, a curry with a binge on top.
What is it, Nosebone? Yes, it's nice to see you.
Grief, here we go again. We would like to mention at this point that Mr. Oddie is playing both Nosebone the Great White Hunter and Grimling the boring old butler. Look, why don't I ever get any interesting parts? Anyway, I'm fed up with it.
Look, over there. There's a gentleman coming across the sand. He says he's an out-of-work rabbi from Cairo, born of Lithuanian parents, brought up in Germany, learnt English from an Irishman and educated in Bangkok. He says he's known to his friends as the Nuke of the North, and he'll be played by David Hatch. Right.
What? Oh, no, I'm not playing him.
Look, here he is, Buana.
You'll have to.
Oh?
Hello, Nanook. Welcome to our beach.
Oh, Wiedersehen and be cobbers. Oh, awfully nice to see you, my little darlings. Hallelujah. And as we say at the London School of Economics, to the lot of you. I have easy a gun with live ammunition. I also have a sore throat. Make one artificial move and my goodness gracious me, I shall shoot you. And that goes for you too, Fräulein, baby doll.
What do you mean by this?
I wish I knew.
But what are you going to do with us?
Me, slave trader.
Oh, I'll have half a pound of eunuchs, please.
No, I'm taking you all into slavery. I'm taking you to Baghdad. Move along there, covers. 1 side, 2, vamoose. By golly, it does you good.
Why are you taking us to Baghdad?
I'm gonna sell you to the caliphs, who were incidentally born in Kent.
Kent?
Yes, they're the white caliphs of Dover.
Are they to be sold into slavery? As they are led away by the sinister Nanook of the North, played by David Hatch, one thought must be uppermost in everyone's mind.
What a lousy accent.
Can they escape before they reach Baghdad?
Why does Humphrey Barclay suddenly look so old?
Will you be listening next week?
Are you listening now?
And now, here are details of the Bonzo Angus Prune experiment. During the next 6 days, Angus Prune will be travelling to all parts of the British Isles, hoping to meet his many fans. He wants to see how much ground he can cover, and also how many people recognise him. If you think you've spotted him, you should hop up to him and say, in a Latvian accent, with a slight lisp, "You are Angus Prune, I claim a free gift." If he's the real Prune, he will give you a vulture. A gift vulture. Right then, it's spot the Prune. If you think you've seen him, write and tell us exactly where you saw him, at what time, on what day, also what he was wearing, what he looked like, and exactly what he was doing. Send your cards, only postcards please, to Humphrey Barclay. I'm sorry I'll read that again. BBC, London W1. To reach him not later than 10:15, please, because he goes to bed around then. Oh, and by the way, the gift vulture is absolutely worthless, but it will play havoc with a neighbour's cat. So, good pruning. Once again, the Angus Prune tune brings to an end I'm Sorry I'll Read That Again, which was written this week by Graham Chapman, Graham Garden, Eric Idle and Bill Oddie. And you can blame him, too, for the songs. The voices you heard belonged to Tim Brooke-Taylor, John Cleese, David Hatch, Joe Kendall and Bill Oddie. The music was played by Dave Lee, and the whole show was produced by Humphrey Barclay, the well-known white elephant. Tune in to Prune at the same time again next week to hear the voice of Radio Chin tell you...
It's I'm sorry, I'll read that again. Again. No.
And I always listen to I'm sorry I'll read that again. My name is Angus Prune, and I never miss saying sorry I'll read that again. Get away! I sit in my ball pen, I have a good long cold, the section is named after me. My name is Angus Prune, and this is my tune again.
I-S-I-R-T-A, I'm sorry I'll read that.
Bring back Big Mark, I think you're right.
everybody, and welcome to Air My Grudge. This is the program where we bring two people who have a grudge against each other face to face in the studio, and we try to get to the bottom of their little trouble. As you'll remember, when each grudge bearer has put his case against the other, we turn to our special panel of Katie Boyles and ask them to advise us how best we can all part friends. And so let's meet our two grudge bearers for this evening. On my left, representing the Field Mouse Head Shrinking Society, Mr. George Windscreen Wiper.
Hello.
And opposite him, representing a group of field mice, Mr. Edward Pulp.
Hello.
Well, I must say we look as if we're in for a real old hammer and tongs this evening. Right, gentlemen? Who would like to begin?
Filthy rodent-herding scum.
You dirty Jim Shoe wearing pinko commie.
Oh dear, well that's never happened before. Well, here is a gramophone record.
Yes, on the Prune label, we once again bring you those stars of stage, screen, and street corner. Tim Brooke-Taylor, John Cleese, David Hatch, Joe Kendall, and Bill Oddie. And here is their spokesman, John Otto Cleese.
I'm sorry, I'll read that again. Again. Or not. Who knows?
Ladies and gentlemen, the writers of I'm Sorry I'll Read That Again, unabashed, unafraid, and unpaid, present another sorry survey. Since the beginnings of the dawn of earliest civilization, or is it throughout the ages since primordial man first tramped the Neolithic climb?
I thought it was from the rotting of this planet from ethereal matter countless aeons ago.
I thought it was last Friday.
Oh, well, perhaps it was. Since last Friday, Britain has always prided herself on being a seafaring nation. The sea runs in our blood like water, only saltier. And so today, I'm Sorry looks at the history of the Royal Navy and salutes the silent service. We are a nation of seafarers.
And you can't see fairer than that.
From the very start, the tradition was established that mariners always set sail, cheering themselves with a song.
We sail with the wind, with the swell and the tide. We roll to the left, and we roll to the right, and the boat will sway, both up and down, both down and up, and up, and up, and up, and up.
All right. We are a nation of seasick farers. But how did it all start? What were the beginnings of the Royal Navy? Let us turn back through time to an historic moment millions of years ago.
Hey, let's have a Royal Navy.
Yes.
And so the Royal Navy was invented. At first, it wasn't much, just a circular coracle and the Royal Dugout Britannia. And for several thousand years, the Royal Navy had nothing to do. There was no water. But suddenly, one day, it began to rain for 40 days and 40 nights.
Hello, it's starting to rain for 40 days and 40 nights.
Well, what do you know?
Go and get the animals into the ark.
What are?
The one I built from gopher wood and put by for a rainy day.
What animals?
The ones in the shed. It seems that the good and gracious and kindly Lord has decided to destroy all the creatures of the world except me and them animals.
Why?
He has headaches.
And so the fame of the Royal Navy spread to other lands. And they all said they must have a Royal Navy too.
We must have a Royal Navy too.
Royal Navy too.
And so they copied the idea. For a Royal Navy is common property.
So are the sailors.
The Romans and Phoenicians and Egyptians and that class of person had boat crews of slaves who rowed for them, rather like Oxford and Cambridge. Except the slaves didn't have A-levels.
Naturally, these teams of stout oarsmen always set to their task, spurred on with a song.
Row, boys, pull the oars and row, boys. Heave, lads, heave the oars and row. In, out, in, out, in, out, and row, boys, row, boys, row, boys, row, row, row.
Right, cast off.
fairly boring things to have just in case it rained too much. And so they invented naval battles to help pass the time. What was the first naval action?
Don't answer that question, it's filthy.
Well, the Navy really began to get going under Alfred the Great.
He's great.
Isn't he great?
Yes.
One day, whilst he was minding some cakes, he had this marvellous idea.
Hey! Let's have an Air Force. Sorry, no, on second thoughts, let's organise the Navy.
After Alfred came the Dark Ages, and nothing much happened all the time for several hundred years until the Black Death was introduced.
How do you do there, honey?
Then, quite suddenly, in 1493, Magellan went round the Horn.
Oh, only bold.
In the previous year, Columbus had discovered America. It was mainly full of warlike savages.
Nothing changes.
And so Columbus started the lusty Elizabethan age, when lusty ships put out from lusty ports with lusty hearts aboard, singing lustily lusty shanties of the sea.
Sail the way, me boy, sail the way. Sail the way, heave-ho, sail the way, whoop.
But what was the character of the age?
That was me, Silver Long John.
But you're very short for a long job.
Well, I ain't named after me size. 'Tis after me undies.
Pieces of 7, pieces of 7.
The swines, they've devalued the doubloon.
Yes, adventure on the Spanish Main and the heyday of the master mariners of England. The mightiest master mariner of the Main was Drake.
Hello, ducks.
Drake sailed round the world, capturing Spanish treasure ships wherever he went.
We're leaving Kingston. Sign me up a crew, Mr. McSweet.
Aye, aye, sir. Will you like a full compliment, sir?
Yes, please.
You're a wonderful human being, sir.
Thank you, Mr. McSweet. How are things in the engine room?
Fine, sir. We haven't got an engine.
Why not?
It's a sailing ship, sir.
Oh, good. I never was mechanically minded. Right. Well, let's get this ship on the road. Weigh anchor.
14 pounds, 3 ounces, sir.
Right, 2 points to starboard.
2 points to starboard, sir.
Steady.
Steady she is, sir.
2 points to starboard.
2 points to starboard.
Whoop. Too much, a little to sherry.
Port, sir.
Just a small glass. What height are we now, Mr. McSweet?
Sea level, sir.
Tell me when we get below, will you? Now, we're going to take the Virgin Islands.
Why?
Why not? Mr. McSweet, how long have you been on this ship?
2 years before the mast, sir.
Nonsense, the mast's always been here.
And so Drake sailed round the world, and when he returned, the Queen knighted him personally on his quarterdeck.
Oh, painful.
By now, sailing was all the rage. It was ships with everything. And so on into the 17th century. London society was very wicked under Charles II. He was only interested in Nell Gwyn and her oranges.
Well, you should have seen her oranges.
Charles II was a wise man. He put Samuel Pepys in charge of the Navy and retired to the Royal Bedchamber to work on his state affairs. Samuel Pepys wrote in his diary...
I'm worried about Jim.
Samuel Pepys wrote in his diary...
Tuesday last, an excellent supper at the Boar's Head Tavern with Mistress Overmuch, who did me the honour of showing me her boudoir, and someone...
No, not that bit.
Wednesday. Molly Flanders came for the evening, but stayed for some mulled claret, and afterwards...
No.
Thursday, reorganised the Royal Navy. Friday, Fanny Hill came to dine, and we spent many...
All right. That's quite enough.
Speak for yourself.
In the 18th century, the Royal Navy still went on discovering things. This was mainly due to the voyages of Captain Cook, who discovered the promiscuous, dusky beauties of Tahiti and Hawaii, and was Hawaii for several years examining them. Towards the end of the 18th century, people began to hanker after battle.
We're out to meet the foe with a rowdy yo-ho-ho, with a proud ship and a flashing eye, with daggers drawn and cutlass high. So here we go. To sea, let's hear the cannons roar!
And the years passed swiftly into the 19th century. 1801, 1802, 1803, 1803, 1803.
What's that?
History repeating itself.
Yes, the age of Victoria.
It was a time of crinolines, lace, frock coats, top hats, Charles Dickens, stereophonic cement wigwams, the British Raj, ferrets, yoghurt, plastic bricklayers, stingray baiting, prehensile motormowers, mouse whisks, Cardinal Richelieu special anthracite pudding mix, hummingbird sprinklers, numbats, Peter Scott toe muff sandwiches, and buzzard-eating frog sport.
Stop ad-libbing.
I'm not the king rat.
Oh, yes, you are.
Oh, super.
From now on, the Royal Navy played a peacekeeping role, bombarding troubled cities. But in the distance, the first rumbles of thunder could be heard as the storm clouds gathered ominously over Europe.
What happened?
It rained. It was time for another European war, so they chose sides, tossed for ends, and dug in. Unfortunately, the Navy was left out of most of the land battles, so the fleet spent most of its time drinking rum and having an annual review.
Hide your daughters, here comes the fleet. Shut the shutters, we're dancing in the street. We're gonna sing and shout and make a lot of noise. Break up the town, here come the boys. Oh, hello, hello!
What's all this malarkey then?
However and anyway, with the birth of Captain Prune of the 2nd Lancashire Tugs, a new era was born. As a result of his war record,
We'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when.
Captain Prune was put in command of a PT boat.
Knees bend, arms raised, stretch, relax. We'll never see action here, sir. We're the last launch left in England.
Well, the rest of the Navy's in Dunkirk. But wait, look, 1,000 ships coming this way. 1,000 ships?
Against our one launch.
Was this the launch that faced 1,000 ships?
Battle stations!
Waterloo and Trafalgar Square, sir.
Quite correct.
And so Captain Prune bravely defended England against the whole might of the English ships returning from Dunkirk. When they eventually caught him, he retired into solitary confinement for 40 years. But this gave the Royal Navy a chance. With Prune gone, they might win.
I'm going to see Mirabelle.
Well, give her my regards.
No, you're Mirabelle.
Ah, so you've come to see me?
No, I'm going to see water, ships, splash, splash, war, fighting, bang, bang.
Jonathan, you know how I want you and love you and miss you and pray for you.
Yes, Mirabelle, I do. I know how you want me and love me and miss me and pray for me.
Oh,
You see, my country's called me again. There's another pocket battleship playing Merry Hell in the Channel.
don't forget to kiss Jemima goodbye.
I won't. Just think, I shan't be here when she has her kittens.
Who's in the Channel, dear?
It's the Graf Pruner. Commanded by Admiral von Pruner, the old Bavarian.
Can't somebody else settle von Pruner's hash, Jonathan?
No, Mirabelle. He's my hash. You understand? It's personal. I thanked for him at school.
I understand, Jonathan.
You're a brick, Mirabelle. Oh well. Heave to.
Have we time?
17th of August, 1940 Vulture.
Navigator, what's my position?
You're sort of hunched up with your arms folded.
Aha! I think I can see something out there. Hand me a glass. Yes, it's a large whale. Hand me another glass. Yes, it's a large white whale. And another glass. There's a large white whale with purple stripes and 3 mermaids singing the ferret song. Wait a minute. Did I say a large white whale with purple stripes and 3 mermaids singing the ferret song?
Yes.
Well, that's pretty good, considering I'm drunk. No, what I really meant was, it's the pocket battleship Graf Pruner.
They chased around the high seas and low oceans until at last they trapped the Graf Pruner in the territorial waters of South America at the mouth of the River Saucer. Then...
Message from von Pruner, Captain.
What does it say?
Britain must allow Graf Pruner a safe exit from territorial waters, international rules.
Send in this message, Mr. McTravers. Britannia waives the rules.
Very good, sir.
Oh, thank you. Right then, open fire!
We can't, we've run out of coal, sir.
Never mind, fire the big gun.
5, 4, 3, 2. Good grief, she's scuppered herself.
We've won, McTravers. Geoffrey, I may call you Geoffrey, mayn't I?
If you like, sir. My real name's William.
Oh, Godfrey, we've destroyed her. That's the last of the pruners.
What a relief.
And so the graft pruner was finally hounded to her death. Jonathan Carruthers returned victorious to London to be pensioned off. And Commander von Pruner returned ignominiously to Europe to become Supreme Allied Head of NATO.
And so to the present day.
How can the Royal Navy survive the future? What will happen to the Fleet Air Arm? Will it become an infantry regiment and be called the Fleet Air Leg? I doubt it. Is there any truth in the story that Britain's largest aircraft carrier the other day stopped America's smallest aircraft carrier and asked for a lift? No. Can the Navy Lark improve its ratings? These are all questions.
I have entertained the stalls, from the nightclubs to the halls, and though I've not been well, I've never quit. I've been riddled with diseases, with deformities and queases, but I've always gone out there and done my bit. Though the critics made a fuss when I played Hamlet in a truss, they roared when they saw Romeo with mumps. And the fate of my career was King Lear with diarrhea. Though my Oberon came out in purple lumps. I've done television jingles whilst suffering from shingles. I performed for Lady Astor from top to toe in plaster. In the Bible, I played Moses with a coronary thrombosis. And I did the death scene from Andromache with a badly upset stomachy. I'll never stop, no matter what I've got. But today it seems as though I've caught the lot. 'Cause my granny's gone down with the hiccups. I've gone and caught it from her. My dad's got the flu, now I've got it too. Oh, it really isn't fair. The doctor has brought round a potion. I do hope it won't take too long. What's to be done? The show must go on, and I've got to try to sing this sick song. Choo. Pardon?
We would like to warn you that the next part of our program is not suitable for those of a nervous disposition.
Boo!
And now... it's time once again for the latest action-thribbled installment of The Fly of the Cursing Bumwat.
So far, captured by the sinister slave trader Nanook of the North, played by David Hatch, Tim Brown-Windsor and his colleagues are carried off to Baghdad to be sold as slaves. Oh, what a disgrace! What ignominy to be haggled over like so many ferrets!
Like ferrets?
Not much, I prefer vultures.
Be that as it may, there we were in Baghdad, city of 1,000 delights.
Want a good time, Ducky?
City of 999. Nanook of the North led us through the streets bound hand and foot. He managed to hop along somehow.
As we trudged along, the natives jeered and catcalled. But on we went past the street vendors.
Buy your street here, lovely streets, get your street.
And we managed to get some of the atmosphere of Baghdad. There was so much to make us curious, and we certainly were. But Nanook of the North was happy to answer our questions.
I have a question.
Oh, I am happy.
What's that statue over there?
Oh, that's the old Buddha.
Not the old Buddha.
Well, some old Buddha.
Thank you.
And what is yonder crowd of aged shoemakers doing in that corner?
That's just a load of old cobblers.
Thank you.
And what's that?
That's the clock tower.
And so we passed the time. Till at last we came to the Caliph's palace.
Look at those magnificent mosques.
Yes, that one's built entirely from metal.
Incredible. And look, there's someone waving from the window.
Ah, yes, that must be the man in the Iron Mosque.
Of course. Near what splendid minarets.
May I have this dance?
Certainly, I don't want it.
Enough. Here is the palace of the Caliph of Baghdad, and he's a jolly fine mate and all.
You can't do this to us. We are British.
I do indeed most deeply regret, most beautiful English scrubber, that this is not all the true state of the kettle of ferrets, as Shakespeare had it. And didn't Shakespeare have it? See if anyone's there.
Hello, is anyone there?
Yes, what do you want?
Who's that without?
A eunuch.
Will the Caliph grant me an audience?
Well, what's wrong with this one?
They don't laugh at my jokes. Now get in there, me old duckies.
Oh, I like it.
And so we were hustled into the Caliph's slave market, where business was already bustling.
Get your slaves, ripe slaves, 2 for a camel, hold them, feel them, they're lovely.
Round us, the merchants bartered amongst themselves.
Were they bartering?
No, just chatting.
It's no good. I can't tell talk from barter.
And what did our jury think of that one? Oh dear. And can we have the next joke, please?
Right then, you lot, get into that pen.
But we're being sprayed with water.
Yes, it's a fountain pen.
And the next.
Here comes the Caliph of Baghdad.
Make way for the Caliph of Baghdad, Peacock of the Orient, Lion of Arabia, Stallion of the East, Ferret of Southwest too, Jewel of Magnificence, Most Mighty One, All-Powerful One, Exalted One, Arsenal too, Sultan of the Moon, Sultan of the Moon, 3 times, Ruler of the Desert, Managing Director of no fixed abode.
Don't do that, I feel so fragile this morning.
The Caliph made a splendid figure of a man, which he sold to us for 3 and 6. He stood before us drawing straight lines, every inch a ruler. On his head he wore a magnificent decorated fez. He was a handsome fellow, but he was also strong and cunning.
Yes, I'm not just a pretty fez. Right, let the auction begin.
I have here a delightful antique piece, well upholstered, but slightly in need of overhaul.
How dare you?
What am I bid for Lady Constance to cover it?
2 Bactrian camels.
3 Arab tents.
4 Dumblebys.
5 rhubarb tarts.
6 Bedouins dancing.
7 eunuchs rampant.
8 yashmaks falling.
9 ferrets squeaking.
10 prunes a stewing.
11 vultures singing.
12 new script writers.
And sold to the Caliph of Baghdad for 12 new scriptwriters, 11 vultures singing, 10 prunes a stewing, 9 ferrets squeaking, 8 yashmaks falling, 7 eunuchs rampant, 6 Bedouins bouncing, 5 rhubarb tarts,
4 dromedaries, 3 Arab tents, 2 Bactrian camels.
Well, go on.
and a roll.
That evening, the Caliph invited us all to a magnificent banquet in the main hall. Lady Constance sat on his right hand.
Get off my right hand.
Oh, Caliph, I was getting quite attached to you.
Allow me to introduce my relations. This is the Nabob of Bandicoot. He's my mother's brother.
Ah, Nabob's your uncle.
Quite. And this is the Vizier of Delhi. His wife's gone to the Holy Land.
Damascus?
No, Syria.
Right, carry on.
And now I think it's time for a little entertainment.
It's cabaret time. And tonight we have music from the band of Shake, Rattle and Roll, Caliph Richard and the Shadows, and dancing from I'm a Tub, the fattest belly dancer in the land.
She's gone to pot, I can tell you.
And straight from the New Delhi Contesson, the fabulous Salami will do the dance of the 7 veals.
Now, that was a cold meat joke. So we'll be putting one in each week from now on, just in case there's any cold meat listening. Thank you.
Well, slaves, what do you think of my little cabaret? Nobody insults my cabaret. Go and fetch the chief torturer. At once, sir.
No. The court will
will cower for the most fearsome and cruel inflictor of justice, the harbinger of pain and agony, the most wicked and dreadful chief torturer.
Oh, did somebody call? Who's for me rack then?
No.
Well, possibly.
I've got the best rack in Arabia.
It's true.
Yes, I'm the king rack.
Oh, no, you're not.
Where shall I have you thrown then? Perhaps the snake pit?
You fiend!
Or shall I throw you in the alligator pit?
You monster.
No, on second thoughts, I'll throw you in here.
Oh, no. Look at those hideous creatures in there. The ugly faces, the beady eyes, the slavering jaws. What ghastly place is this?
The orchestra pit. Right! Take them away, torturer.
Oh, I'm going to hurt you.
And do the job well, torturer. Or else I'll slap you in iron, stretch you between iron girders, flay you with broomsticks, beat you with barbed wire, and lash you with horsewhips.
Oh, promises, promises.
And so we were tortured, and then put into the custody of the most brutal and terrifying villain yet.
Take them!
Yes, oh master, your word is my command.
It's Smasher Wilkins!
Yes, and I'm taking you all into custody.
What? What are you doing here?
I'm really a eunuch in disguise.
In disguise?
Yeah, in disguise uniform. Now, I'm going to throw you in possum.
You can't be so cruel.
Oh, Masher, Masher.
All fall down.
Shut up, or I'll give you a punch up the frost.
Surely you mean throat.
No, I mean frost. I promised I'd give him a plug.
Somebody should give him a plug.
And so we were locked up down in the dungeons.
Oh, Lady Constance, why did they separate us from the men?
Courage, child, we shall soon be loose again.
Oh, how can you at a time like this?
I wish I knew.
There must be some way out. Look, there's a door in the floor.
It may be a trap.
Yes, it is.
Oh, that's
Yes.
wonderful.
I can see down into another room. And listen, I think I heard a drip.
Hello, Auntie.
You're right.
It's all the others.
How can we reach them?
Squeeze through this little grill.
Well done, Auntie.
Thank heaven for little grills.
But listen, there's still that noise.
Good grief. I know, it must be the water torture.
Water torture?
Yes, and it's getting worse. There's water seeping through the ceiling. There's water dripping through everywhere.
Call for help.
Hello? It's no good, even the phone's tapped.
Water's up around my knees.
It's over my ankle.
It's over my head!
What next? Will our gallant friends survive the terrible ordeal? Can they stand the dreadful torture? Will they escape with their senses unthribbled? Does the tig socket know the plans of Knocker Potts, the vulture tamer? Will the grid-fettling, moon-strumpling pin jacket welcome their gasset tweedies? Does the gatter moppet really want to go walkies? What does it all mean?
Send your answers on a postcard.
Where is the green eye of the little yellow dog?
Here it is, David.
Not yet, you fools.
Listen again next week, and don't forget oh dear.
And so the merry tinkle of the Angus Prune tune, merry tinkle, brings to an end another edition of I'm Sorry I'll Read That Again. The voices you heard were those of Brooke-Taylor, John Cleese, David Hatch, Joe Kendall and Bilotti. The scripts were by Eric Idle, Graham Garden and Bilotti and Peter Hutchins. The songs by Bilotti, and the rest of the music was provided and played by Dave Lee. I'm Sorry I'll Read That Again is produced by Humphrey Barclay. And that's it until the same time next week. And once again, John Otto Cleese will come to the microphone with those famous words that by now you know backwards.
Naked, naked, and the right,